sure to send it to anybody who wasn't able to join us.
I
Before we
left
get
it first,
started,
which is the
I
same
just
thing I'm in today.
just sorry, just gonna
Paid
mute
myself.
people here. There we go. All right, so just want to say that I am coming to you today from Treaty 6 territory and homeland of the Métis. We pay our respects to the First Nations and Métis ancestors of this place, and just want to welcome Josie Lachance, and she's coming to us from Rostern today. So thanks for joining.
Hi, Jess. Thanks for having me. And welcome to everybody that's here today. I'm really excited to talk to you about social media, one of my favorite things to chat about. Um, I I'm running a two-screen system, so if I'm looking here and then looking here, it's because I have two screens. So just bear with me there, but I'm just gonna share my screen here. Um, Yeah, so I just want to kind of touch on this a little bit. So, social media foundations, setting up for success online. So, I feel like when it comes to social media, small rural businesses really just need some clear confidence building foundations without all the overwhelming aspects that come with social media. So hopefully today that's what we can accomplish, and hopefully you'll leave here feeling like you're ready to get started or to continue on wherever it is that you are in your social media journey. Um, Hopefully by the end of this, you'll be feeling a little bit more confident and ready to take that kind of part on. And so definitely feel free to leave any notes in the chat if something comes up or a question comes up, and I will kind of answer them as they come up. So, just a quick intro for me here. I've been helping small businesses for many years. I've from building websites to managing social media, creating content, and bringing brands to life through logos and marketing materials. I've kind of done a little bit of everything. Uh, Basically just trying to help small business owners make sense of the ever-changing online world, which I know is overwhelming. Um, as entrepreneurs, we already have a lot on our plate. So hopefully, you can, kind of this will hopefully benefit your business if you put in some time to kind of learn and understand how social media works and how it can benefit you. Yeah, so that's a little bit about me. Like I said, I'm just going to kind of roll into the presentation. I know Jess kind of mentioned this before, but I think it's important to bring up last couple weeks ago, I guess it was already. We did our first session of this series. So there's 6 webinars in this series. This is the second one, but we did brand like a pro last time. And I wanted to note it because this what we learned in that session will really carry over into today's webinar and into successfully helping you like set up your social media. So if you didn't see that webinar, it's totally fine. Everything will be incredibly relevant and important and helpful to you today. But if you want to learn more about sort of your business branding, they have it on their YouTube. Beaver River Community Futures has it on their YouTube. So feel free to check that out if you kind of need some assistance getting your brand rolling, I guess. So just a little bit about the presentation today. So this is just kind of an overview. I like to give people an idea of what we're going to work through today. I really want to focus on how to get your business off the ground with a strong social media presence. And or maybe you need some inspiration or a little push to bring your social media back to life. I know sometimes people kind of go through the motions of starting their social media for their business because, they've been told that they need to be on social media or it's something that they should do. And then they kind of start their page and then get overwhelmed and then not know how to continue and kind of just abandon ship. So hopefully, if you are in that position, if you've already started, this will help you get a little bit more motivated to get back on and get that social media active again. So we'll learn how to set up professional profiles on Instagram and Facebook. We'll optimize our bios. We'll learn how to link accounts if you want to set up both Facebook and Instagram. We will learn the basics, and we will learn about kind of establishing a consistent voice that attracts the right audience. And I'll share a variety of content at the end, like content ideas, and hopefully that will leave you feeling confident and with confidence and that you need to get started. So with that said, we're going to just dive right in. So social media is for you if you're looking for cost-effective marketing, seeking connection with customers and future customers, um, seeking connection with other businesses in your field or community, wanting to kind of humanize your brand or like bring it to life, interested in increasing retention and loyalty, wanting to increase your brand awareness, looking to target a specific audience. Maybe you sell products and you want to use this platform to help sell products. And if you host events or sell tickets, this is also a great way to get the word out. So you may be questioning whether or not you should get on social media. If any of these sort of resonate with you, then you're on the right track because social media, it can be such a powerful tool for growing your business. Okay, so we're just going to talk about the two platforms today, Facebook and Instagram. There are other ones, of course, like LinkedIn and TikTok and stuff like that. Today, we're just going to focus on these two and kind of break them apart a little bit and show you how they're different and the same. So Facebook is a site that makes it easy for you to connect online and share with your friends and family. That's kind of how I think of Facebook, is more of like a friends and family app. You kind of, if you think about your own Facebook profile, most of the people you're following or that you have on your page are your friends, are your family, are like the people in your community. So it's kind of like that smaller group. Whereas Instagram, it still is a platform that makes it easy to connect with your community, but it has a farther reach. So when you're on Instagram, you could be following people from other side of the world, businesses from all over. It's not just your direct community, but it's a much farther reach that you're dealing with when you're on Instagram versus Facebook. And Instagram is a very creative way to showcase your business through photos and videos. So that's kind of the gist of the two platforms that we're going to talk about today. So just a quick little stat about Facebook users in Canada. So you can see here the highest percentage of users is mostly millennials with a tad bit overlapping into the older Gen Z, I guess you could say. This has shifted a little bit in the recent years. So this is for 2025. This is the most recent stats. This has shifted a bit because there has been a decline in Gen Xers and the early baby boomers using Facebook. So I would say by looking at who is the most active on my personal Facebook, it definitely seems that there's a lot more of the Gen Xers and baby boomers on my page, but they're not always super active. So it something to think about when we're talking about these stats is these are like the general stats for all of Facebook in Canada. But if you look at your Facebook and your community, sort of who are the people in your community that are the most active in those community pages, I always find it's usually my aunts who are more likely to share something on Facebook versus my friends will share more on Instagram. So this is something to think about when you're scrolling through your Facebook and just to see the demographic that's most active on your feed. So yeah, quite interesting. Mostly millennials that are using it. So we're in that 25 to 44 age group. So if that's sort of what you're looking to target, like that age group and maybe a little bit older, up to 54, 55, that age, then Facebook could really work for your business. So why should you consider using Facebook? The customers are already there. Almost everybody has a personal Facebook account, and when they see a business in their community or a business they already support start a page, they're most likely going to follow you. So your customers are there and ready to follow. Um, Facebook is a good way to build relationships and trust, increase visibility and brand awareness. Um, it it has very cost-effective marketing. You can create an ad or a post on Facebook, and you can easily boost it for a couple dollars. And we're not going to dive too much into that today, but that's a huge component of Facebook and Instagram is the ad part. So if you are someone who wants to kind of do some more advertising, then Facebook is definitely a good option for you. Um, Facebook has 1 billion active users actually, so it's quite large. And there is, like I said before, a large group of people in your community who are already supporting all of these other businesses online. So if you're not out there online as your business, like if you aren't active on Facebook, I guess, then you're missing out on that part. So people are already promoting other businesses and supporting them online and interacting with them online. So it is a little bit of a missed opportunity if you aren't using Facebook. So something to think about there. So now flipping over into Instagram, you can see the highest percentage of users has actually kind of shifted down a whole age category. So we're kind of looking at still the early millennials, but also the Gen Zers. They're there and there. So they're kind of like the highest Gen Z and millennials. So they're kind of almost equal because Gen Z, millennials are kind of millennials is such a big age gap, but those are the most active users in Canada right now. So then as you can see, it tapers off quite fast around 50 with basically Gen X and boomers being almost non-existent on these platforms. So if you're on Instagram, you're really targeting that younger demographic versus Facebook. There's more of a variety, I would say. So why should you consider using Instagram? So Instagram is a highly visual platform, so meaning it's great to showcase your brand. So if you have a really strong brand, and a lot of, I always think like Instagram works for everybody, but especially if you have like a brick and mortar or if you have a lot of things that you're working on, maybe you're a creative person, um, whether that's creating things at home that you're selling, or like I said, you have your brick and mortar space with all of these products in it, or you're baking, or whatever it is, those things are so visual and people want to see them, and that makes it really easy for you to have an Instagram because it's literally as simple as posting. If you're making if you're a florist and you're making a bouquet, it's literally as simple as holding the bouquet up and taking a picture and posting that on your Instagram. And even if you did that once a week, like that's kind of what I mean by highly visual, if that makes sense. So it's a way for you to also organically reach new customers. So if you're posting on Instagram and someone's sharing your posts to their following, it's just a very organic way for people to start following you that maybe didn't even know you were online, or are in your area but didn't know you existed. So something to think about there. Again, with both of these platforms, I think it builds trust and credibility, and it's a great way to connect. Um, Instagram also has really strong engagement rates. Facebook is great, and it's as engaging as you kind of make it. but Instagram is has really strong engagement rates, I guess what I'm trying to say. Um, Facebook still is really strong, but Instagram, I don't know what it is. I think it's just so much easier to connect on that platform. And so the engagement rates are really through the roof. It also is very easy to sell on Instagram. So direct sales happen really fast and easy. It's great for mobile users and creates brand loyalty and affordable advertising again, which is the same as Facebook. So you can see some of the crossover of some of the things. Mostly what we're thinking about here is what do you have the time for? Um, what age demographic are you reaching? And do you have the sort of energy to kind of keep up with both platforms and engage on both platforms? So moving over into setting up your profile. So now we know what the two platforms are. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna just set up both of them. That's how I'm gonna look at today for this session. We're gonna set up a Facebook and we're gonna set up an Instagram account. So when you're setting these pages up, and if you've already set them up, that's great. This is something you can take and go back to your profiles and sort of compare like how you had set it up in the past. Maybe it needs to be updated. So I always say keep things straight to the point and include only the basic information. With Instagram, you have a very limited amount of characters. I think it's 140 characters to write a bio. So you're going to take out all that fluff and all the filler sort of content, and you're just going to get straight to the point. Carpenter, this is the type of, you know, woodworking that I do. Done. It's not like, hi, I'm Andy and I'm a carpenter and it's basic. Um, so again, remember this is your business profile, not your personal profile. So include only information that you want to be public and choose a profile image or icon that accurately reflects your business. I always suggest to people, and we'll see in the examples here as we move forward, but I always suggest people to use your logo, or if you have something that is everybody knows you by, like the outside of your building. People know when they see that what it is. Um, so something that's very recognizable because a lot of the time people are only seeing this tiny little circle icon on Facebook and Instagram. So you want that to be working for you instead of against you. Sometimes people will just have like, say you're a florist, and they just put like a bouquet as their icon photo. Well, that could be anything. That could be anyone. So it doesn't really help me to know who that is if I'm just seeing this little circle icon pop up. So the more brand recognition and like putting your logo is a good way to do that because people will see it and it's again constantly on their mind. They're seeing your little icon pop up everywhere when you're interacting. And of course, I'll probably mention the word consistency a lot, but consistency across both platforms. So don't make your platforms look so different that people are guessing, is this the same business? So here I've just, oops. Um, I'm actually going to just go to this slide first because this is just will give you an example of what we're talking here. So we've got a Facebook profile and then we've got an Instagram profile, and you can notice the consistency across both of the platforms. You're not guessing if this is the same business. All of the information is there, and they've made it really easy to sort of call now on Facebook and actually on Instagram. If you were to hit right here, the contact. Um, you hit that and it'll actually give you all the options that this business has set up for contact. So for this one, you hover over the contact and it comes up with a call now or an email now button. So using those call to action buttons are super useful and make it really easy for people to just get in touch with you. On Instagram here, so you can see on both, they've got logo for their profile photo. They've got their name is the same, and then their bio is exactly the same. Pretty straightforward. You can see everything that they offer, and then where they're located. Here on Instagram, you can actually now have multiple links. So this business has just chose to have their Google page so that you can click there and go and leave them a Google review. But now you can actually, which you'll see in some other examples here as we go along, people will have multiple links. So you can have your website and your Google page, or maybe you have your website and you have a ticket link or an event link or a shop link that's different. Um, yeah. So again, you can see here just the consistency across both pages. Basically, this is what's available to you when you start your account and you start filling out the information. So it's not an overwhelming amount of information that they need to start your profile. So this is basically what you need. You need just your little bio, short and sweet, your all your contact information. You need to have your links in place, and basically that's what you kind of need to get your profile started. I'm going to go back now to this one here, where we're talking about your bio. Um, Optimizing your bio. So why does this matter? Um, and I would say this probably matters more so for Instagram, but it could be the same for Facebook. But having your bio is going to lead you to like a short, like, let's go back to this here. You see how it's just like short and sweet, very to the point. It's catchy. They've got the emojis there. Um, that type of bio is going to lead you to more followers. It's going to get you better first impressions with potential followers or people who come across your page. There's a higher chance that people will click on your links if you have it very clear there, because they're coming to your page because they want to find out more about you. So you've already got them to your page. Let's get them to look at the things on your profile. Let's get them to look at your website, et cetera, et cetera. Also, just the way that Instagram works specifically, um, platforms like Instagram will categorize and recommend you even more. So if you have a complete bio, um, you're more likely going to get recommended versus someone who doesn't have a complete bio who isn't posting. So I always use these as a good way to start your bio. Consider your 3-second elevator pitch. Who are you? What do you do or care about? And why should someone follow you or click your link? So um, think about that a little bit. Um, Try not to use um, so much industry jargon, like try to keep it short and clever and use some keywords that people might search for, because that's the other thing is that in my area, so I'm in Rostern, so if I were to search Rostern florist, anybody who has that in their bio, that's going to come up on my search. So just trying to think about that a little bit too when you're writing your bio. So swing back over here. So just kind of a quick little outline of what Facebook, your page looks like and what we're talking about here today. So your profile photo is this circle photo here, and then we've got your cover photo and banner. Then you have all of your call to action buttons right here. This is where all your public information is displayed. So this is where you're going to have all your contact information, your bio, your hours, everything like that. And then this whole side here, if we were to scroll, if this was an actual Facebook page, scroll on there, then this would show all the posts that this business or person has made. So just kind of a quick little,
We just have
uh,
one question here in this
yeah.
section, Josie. How do you get to selection to edit existing your bio?
Oh yeah, I think it should just be as easy as when you're logged into your page on Facebook and you go to your profile, you should just be able to hit edit. So I hope that answers the question. It should be pretty user friendly in that way. I can
Mhm.
double check if we have time at the end. I can just kind of pull it up and make sure. Um, but should be easy. Um, Moving on to Facebook, this is kind of, or sorry, Instagram. This is sort of what your Instagram feed looks like. So basically we've got up here in the corner, oops, sorry. All of my sort of Zoom things are there. So I'm just, but right up here, you'll have a plus sign, and that's where you go to create a new post. This is sort of your feed here, your timeline. So if, again, if this was a real Instagram page, if we were to scroll, then you would see all of the people you follow would be sort of on this page. And then these up here are stories. So we're going to dive into stories a little bit later, but just so you kind of know what it is that we're talking about. These are found on Instagram, and they are short little snippets that the people you follow are posting. So you can see what they're posting, but they also go away in 24 hours. So they're not permanent. Um, yeah, and then this bottom bar here always stays, and it has all of your information, like how people are messaging you, um, how to get to your profile, and things like that. So here's some other profile examples that I just took from some sort of random businesses that I follow on Instagram. So we have this bake shop here in Humboldt. You can see they've used their logo. They've got the gist of what they offer at their bake shop. They've got their address, which is important. And then here's where you can see um, they've got two more links here. So if you click on two more, it'll bring you to all of the links that they have. Um, and then they also have their Facebook linked. So you can click right here and it will actually bring you to their Facebook page. So again, just kind of showing you what people are kind of doing. And you'll see that it's fairly consistent, a short bio, their address, especially if that's important to you, if you have a place where you're working out of, that people can come and visit you sort of publicly. Um, yeah, and then just making it easy to follow message. You can change these. So the shop here, Town Shop Gifts, they have a shop button. So they have a whole online shop set up. So they've made it really easy for me to hit shop, and I can go on their website and shop from Instagram, basically. So just a couple more examples there. Um, then you also see these little circles here at the bottom. Um, these are actually called highlights, and these are something that you can definitely get into as you get more comfortable in the platform. This is something that's only on Instagram, not on Facebook. But when you post something to your stories, you can actually go into your settings on your Instagram page and you can create a highlight with things you've posted. So, this is a great way for restaurants, especially for them to have like a place where their menu is, um, or whatever businesses feel are important. Here we have RJC High School, and they've got sort of a highlight for every single thing here you can see, and there you can scroll this way, and there would be more. So it's just a good way to like house information that people can always find so they don't have to scroll down your entire profile, especially if you're someone who's posting quite frequently. So now you've got your two pages set up. You've got your Facebook and you've got your Instagram. Now you want to just link them together. I always suggest linking your pages at the beginning because this will make it easier for you if you're someone who wants to have, excuse me, if you're someone who wants to have both platforms, if you link them together, that's going to make it really easy for you. So that means when you post on Facebook, that post will go directly to Instagram and vice versa. So if you go and use Instagram as your main posting place and then you share it or you post there, it will share it to Facebook automatically. So this is just kind of how you would do it from your Facebook. there is basically right at the top when you log in and you go to your business suite on Facebook, which is where all of your um, business profile information is. Um, as soon as you go to that, when you're on your personal profile, you click to go to your business profile, and then you click Business Suite. Right here, it'll say Connect Instagram. So basically just as easy as hitting that button, and then this little pop-up would come up, and then you'd say log into Instagram. You'd log in, and then it'll say allow access, and you hit continue, and then you've got your accounts connected. So a great way to start off so that you're not having to worry about creating different content for both pages, which is something that you can tackle later on, but just when you're getting started, it's nice to just have them sort of feeding each other. So, okay, we're kind of just going in the steps here. So, basically now we've created our posts, or we've created our profiles. They're all set up. We've got them linked. Now we're just going to, before we start following anybody or doing anything crazy, it's always good to go and put on, to go do a post or a couple posts. You can see here in this example that I screenshotted from Instagram, this person has put together 3 posts to sort of introduce her business. And so she's got one about her offerings, one about her business, and one about her. You definitely don't need to do 3. She did 3 because it visually looks nice, because Instagram displays in 3 tiles. So 3 tiles in a row all the way down. So this is great to do because you're not going to get all these people to follow you and you have no information on your page other than what you've just set up. So this is a great way to just provide more. Say, hey, this is me, this is who I am, this is what I'm doing, this is my business. Just something there that people can learn more about you. And it doesn't show on here, which I'll make sure to point out on another example when we get to the examples. But usually there's a little, if you can see my cursor here, there's a little like tack, like a pin icon. And if you click to pin the post, that means it'll always stay at the top. So that would always be, these 3 would always be the first posts people would see when they came to your page. And you can do that on Facebook and you can do that on Instagram. And I think that's really important, especially if you are doing an introduction post, if you are a new business, if you're new to the area, maybe you have a menu that changes often. That's something you can pin. You can usually pin, I know on Instagram you can pin 3. I think on Facebook you can pin, I know you can for sure pin 2. You might be able to pin maybe 3 as well. But that's something that you can utilize just to sort of have that permanent information there. And you can change it at any time. So you can just hit the pin and unpin it, and then it'll go away and choose something new to pin if you want to do it that way too. So it's a great way to sort of introduce yourself, have some content on your page already, so people can follow you and kind of learn more about you. All right, so now we've got our profiles are complete and they're ready to go. We're ready to have people follow us and interact with people, and it's important to create a strategy. So I always emphasize this because you want your social media to work for you and in the ways that you need and want it to. You don't want to do it just to do it. You want it because it's actually going to benefit your business. So sometimes just identifying, even if you did right now, wrote that down, or just to get your brain thinking about that. What is it that you want from social media? Is it sales? Is it just to connect with people? Is it to sort of increase brand awareness? What are the things that you're wanting to do, and how can you make that sort of come to life through your social media? So I know this slide is a little bit overwhelming. It's kind of overloaded, but I just wanted to touch on what to do sort of versus the what not to do. So what you want to do is you do want to take a little bit of time when you set up these pages to build your follower base. So whether that's interacting with businesses and individuals by going and commenting on things, even if it's just an emoji, just something to show like, hey, I'm here. Because people aren't going to know that you're active on social media or maybe that you've started a social media account. So this is a great way to do it. Just going and finding all your local businesses and commenting on their posts, saying, just supporting them in that way. And then their followers will see that, click your profile, follow you. So that will lead to just that organic following base in that way. Joining community groups and other groups on Facebook so that you can directly share to a built-in audience. This is an important one. Most communities have multiple Facebook groups, or at least one, we have a roster and community page, and people are always sharing in there what's happening in the community. Businesses are sharing what they're up to. We also have a Chamber of Commerce here, so people will share with us what they're doing, and then we can share it on our page. So just kind of finding those little hubs that you can sort of interact on those pages, but then also share your information and your content to those pages so that they can help sort of increase your brand awareness and get your followers built up a little bit. And also it's promoting your business. So it's a great way to just freely post your business, advertise your business, sorry. Ask your friends and family to share your social media pages on their feed. So as simple as sharing a post about your business. So you create a post on your business page and then you share it to your personal profile and say, "Hey friends, I finally did it. I got on social media, or I'm trying to be more active on social media. Can you share my page and help me promote it?" And those things. Most people, when you are directly asking them like that on Facebook or on Instagram, they'll share it. So that's an easy way as well. These are just very organic ways for you to build your follower base because people who see you and are interested in your business, they're going to follow you. So, yeah, continuing on what to do just to make sure you're being interactive and you're being consistent and to be yourself. I always emphasize this as well because when people follow you online, it's because there is something that is interesting, and valuable and worthwhile, and they like you. So, they're not coming there to just have these like boring, basic posts that you've maybe just taken off of something else. Like they want to hear from you. So I always think that's so much more important than just creating a bunch of filler content that doesn't connect with people. One, it's a waste of your time to create all of this content that people aren't connecting with. And it's also not doing anything for your business in that way. So, another thing, what not to do is not to copy other people's posts, but it's okay to use them as inspiration. So you can take little bits of pieces here and there. It's a great way to get inspired, but not to copy them directly, because you are creating your pages. And these are a reflection of you and your business. So you want that to come through on your profiles. And again, this is an important one. If you are creating these profiles, or one of them, don't abandon them. Don't not update them. It's not going to do anything for you. If you create them and decide that you don't want to go ahead with it, you're best off to just delete them so that they don't even exist, or have something that says we don't monitor social media, we don't post on social media, but basically here's our information, just because you don't want people to forget or think that you are closed, because the last time you posted was in 2017. So making sure you're updating all of that information. If you are kind of just leaving them, making sure you're not forgetting to update that a little bit. So anyways, gonna keep going here. There's no questions so far. I know I'm kind of whizzing through this. It's a lot of content to get through. But I just want to quickly talk about establishing a consistent brand voice. Just figure out what it is that you want from social media. Again, like, are you a friendly, everyone's friendly, but like, are you how are you interacting with people? Is it kind of like fun? Are you trying to be an expert by sharing things, or is it more like laid back? Like just those types to think about. Um, Consistency is a really big part of the brand voice. And I always think about this too. What posts do you tend to relate with um, when you see them on social media? So think about that a little bit too when you're thinking about your brand voice. Yeah, I think people don't want to hear a lot of industry jargon all the time. There's obviously time and place for it in different professions and different types of businesses, but I think just people want to connect on these platforms, and that's what it's for at the end of the day. It's okay to show personality, it's okay to have a point of view, and it's okay to sound like you. We are people, we're real businesses, and we're not polished robots. We're doing this just kind of on our own time here. And it's important for us to connect with our community and our customers. So just thinking a little bit about your brand voice. The brand voice also helps if you have employees that can help you with social media. So that's something to think about, kind of just establishing that a little bit so that your employees have something to go off on how you want um, the language on your social media to kind of be. Um, this is another important one. It's great for yourself, but also again, if you have people helping you with your social media, kind of creating your own stock images. So if you even have just photos on your phone that you can use to post, say you're closed, say you're open, whatever it is, it doesn't have to be crazy. You don't have to have professional photo shoots are great, and I will always recommend that. But using your phone, whatever you have to take a photo, is just as fine. And so just something to think about, having sort of like a little bank of images that you can always choose from to kind of get things going. I'm speeding through this because I really want to get to sort of helping you with the content part, but just want to quickly talk about the different types of posts that you can do when you are on your social media pages. So I've kind of touched on them a little bit, but feed posts are the posts that they live on your grid, and it can be a single photo, it can be multiple photos, it can be a video. That's kind of what's available for your feed posts. The stories are what disappear after 24 hours, and these are both on Facebook and Instagram. So when you see someone's little icon lit up with like a colorful circle, on Instagram, it's like the Instagram colors, the like pink and yellow and orange and red and purple kind of around the icon. And on Facebook, it's just blue. So, um, stories is a great way to be interactive without having to put together permanent posts. Like if you just, hey, like opening up the shop, or I'm working on this project, you can easily do that as a story if you don't want to make it into sort of a feed post. This is a great way for you to also use stories have these interactive components like stickers. And so you can poll people, you can ask questions, you can use little sliders. Just again, just little ways to be interactive for people to interact, which then helps sort of boost your post through the algorithm, and hopefully more people will see it. The more people, the more that people are interacting. Reels, which is a big one now, which is basically just short form videos put together. So it can be multiple things. You can have, like I said, short videos and you put them together to like music or something, or it can just be you talking into the camera and then you're posting it. Maybe you have a couple different photos, not videos. You can string them together with some audio. You want to create a little tutorial video about how to create the quilt that you're working on that you're going to be selling, or things like that. Reels are a great way to do that. They take a little bit more work, but they definitely pay off because reels definitely get more, they get boosted up more in the algorithm. So, um, again, there's so much you can do on these platforms. That's where I would suggest starting, just with your live, with your posting on your feed and on your stories. But you can also post live videos. So if you want to do a live, hey, I'm in my store, I'm gonna live unbox my new products. Um, you can create groups and post in groups on Facebook. You can create event pages, again, only on Facebook. You can do text only posts on Facebook. And then you can boost those posts and create ads from what you've already created. And you can do that both on Instagram and Facebook. Okay, so getting into some examples. I've just done some screenshots of Instagram because Instagram is visually easier to sort of capture in a screenshot versus Facebook. So you can see here, I've tried to use mostly just small local businesses here, kind of in my area. Um, Things that you can note here about their Instagram, this one here, Vigor Physio. You can tell that these are his posts. He's really branded them. He's got this chartreuse green color. And every time I see that color, I'm always thinking, okay, that's Vigor Physio and they're posting. So there's things that you can do that way where everything is just kind of color branded. Um, Again, it's as simple as taking a really aesthetic photo of your baking. And I mean, if you're already making great things and beautiful things, that makes it really easy to have content. And I know we kind of touched on that earlier. This over here is our art center here in our town. So they're posting basically everything. So they're posting about shows coming up, events happening. They have a young artist program running right now. You can see here, we talked about those little icons, those pins right here. So these are the ones that are pinned and they're going to stay there. So anytime I go to Cupcakes by Wendy's Instagram page, um, these two will always be here. And that's kind of her information post, how to order, what I have, etc., etc. So here, this little emoji or this like icon, I guess, what has the multiple photos. That means there's multiple photos. And then this one with the sort of square with the triangle, the play button, essentially, that's a reel or a video. So kind of giving you a little bit of everything here between these three profiles. Some more examples of just what the content is that people are putting out there. I just kind of wanted to give you an idea, a little variety. It doesn't have to be um, anything too crazy, posting pictures of your products, posting about your team, um, posting about your projects that you're working on, whatever it is that you have coming up. Yeah, you can see here, this one actually has a little shopping bag. So they've linked that. So you can actually purchase this product. So if I clicked this post, I could click the link to then go and purchase their products and have it sent to me. So that's something that you can always set up as well. Again, some more examples, just kind of showing you the different ways people are posting, what they're posting. It's as simple as just posting our menu every day, posting what our food looks like. This is an interior designer, just a photo of something that she's designed. Oma's Pantre is just down the street here and down the street, but a couple towns over. And so she's just posting recipes, her products, etc., about upcoming markets. Um, Again, so many examples to look at and take in here. But just showing you that there is a variety. There's no one way to do it. Whatever works for you, works for you. And that's how you should start, especially when you are starting. Don't spend too much time creating all of the content. Just make some posts, get them out there, get in the sort of routine of um, posting on social media, checking social media for your business, and kind of incorporating that into your routine. So yeah, lots of different ideas from lots of different businesses. Again, Sage Hill, you always, or Community Futures, you kind of know like this green, it's always associated with Community Futures to me in my brain. So I see that color and I automatically think about Community Futures. So you can kind of think about that too. If you have a really strong brand color, can that be incorporated? Not in every post, but maybe in multiple posts. Um, yeah. So content ideas to just get you started. Now that you've kind of seen examples of how they look when they're on Instagram, um, we talked a little bit about these light engagement posts where you're asking questions, where you're asking polls, you're putting in a question box on stories. Um, a really popular or common thing that people are doing with their posts is saying like, comment with a wave emoji if you agree. Just getting people to comment on your page, comment on the post, um, gives you a way to interact with people, etc., etc. Lots of ideas here. Behind the scenes content, seasonal content. Um, there's some more on this one. A little cheat code for you here. If a post does one of these things, I would say it's good. If it helps, if it entertains, if it reassures, if it starts a conversation, or if it builds trust. So you can kind of always come back to that. Entertains is always a good one. I think people always resonate with real people doing funny things. Or yeah, I'm trying to think of an exact example, but you can kind of take it for what it is. You can, whatever you can use in your business to put out there is always good. So I know we're running out of time here, but I'm just going to show you a couple examples of some stories. Just so you can kind of see what that looks like. And yeah, this is just another little section just about if you have a team of people, you could make an entire series about your team and kind of ask them things that, ask them a funny question like, hey, what's your favorite drink? And what's your favorite thing to eat for a snack? Just so then people can relate to them when you're posting those things, but using your team as well to create a social media series is great. And then people get to know them as well. So stories, these are the things that are probably the most commonly used on Instagram and Facebook. So businesses are using these. It's super clever. Um, hey, like these are all different examples, but what you're gonna see is hey, we have a discount if you shop today, or like we have one of these jean jackets left, or we've restocked them, or things like that. So there's just so many different things you can do with stories, and you can see how they're all very visually different. Use it to advertise new products. Again, here they've linked these sweaters that are available for sale. You can purchase online, a collage of photos. Everybody has a different style. Um, but I always think like restaurants sharing things first thing in the morning is super clever because then I see their posts and then I think I should go there for lunch or for supper. And so that to me is, advertising that really works. Sharing your customer testimonials, that's a great thing that you can use to post, whether that's on stories or on your feed. Um, so many different things. I don't know why this one always gets me, but the eggs in the bowl, it's visually appealing, these bright yellow yolks. That's Cupcakes by Wendy. Just something she's just saying, good morning, she's baking today. As simple as that. Maybe that's all she posts for the day or for the week. But she's still there, she's active. Um, if you're like in the service industry, maybe you have availability this week saying, hey, I have open appointments on these days. That's a good way to get them to fill up because people will see that and they'll say, oh, hey, I was thinking I needed a massage and I actually am free. I'm going to book that time. So just ways that it could work for you and your business. Here you'll see this is what we're talking about, those like engagement or those stickers where people can answer a poll. Um, yeah, so those are all the examples of stories. And I just want to leave you with you don't always have to create original content to keep your business relevant on social media. I think that's really important. We always think that we have to create um, these masterpieces essentially. But we definitely don't have to do that. Of course, it's important for us to have our own content, but it can be very exhausting to be constantly creating new things all the time, especially if we're a one man or one woman show. So don't be afraid to share posts that other people are sharing if that's what helps to keep you relevant or active for that week. Don't be afraid to go back and use old posts. This is something people don't do enough. Is say you had a post like from a couple months ago that performed really well, take that post, go back and not reshare it, but just use the same picture and maybe adjust the caption a little bit and just repost it again. If it performed really well, then it'll perform really well again now, and it probably will be reached by different people. So just ways that you can sort of still be relevant and active on social media when you're not creating your own content. So I know we've kind of like whizzed through this. I always think giving local business shout outs is a great one. Sharing customer reviews and testimonials is great. If you have people coming into your coffee shop and they're taking a picture of your coffee or the quilt you made or the flowers they bought at your store, reshare that. Reshare that photo because that's showing life. That's showing people are coming in, they're supporting you, and then it's not content that you had to like think through and create. Um, so I know we talked about so many things. So your next steps going forward, what I would say is to focus on in the first sort of or the next 30 days, if you are really wanting to get active on social media, I would say complete those profiles, have those intro posts up and start engaging with people on Facebook and Instagram. And then start thinking about your posts, start putting out um, a couple posts. You want to be a little bit consistent, but you also don't want to burn out. So, really, if you're putting out one post a week to begin with, maybe even posts a week, that is totally fine. You don't have to be putting out a post every day and then a story, multiple stories every day. Other people might be doing that, but they might be further along in their social media journey. They might have paid help. There's so many things to consider. Um, so I always just say create a simple routine that fits into your busy business schedule. And if you have people that can help you, um, utilize that too. Um, yeah, that kind of sums up my presentation today. We are doing another one on February 19th called Design Made Easy and Creating with Canva. So if you want to kind of take your content a little bit further and learn how to create things with Canva, we're going to be learning a little bit about that. So
Wonderful. Thanks, Josie. This was great.
thank you. Sorry, I feel like I was talking a mile a minute. There's so much to talk about.
That's
So I hope
okay.
everybody walks away feeling a little bit confident today.
And yeah, I think it's great. And it's recorded, and I will share the link with everybody once they get it uploaded to YouTube, and then you can watch the first one. And this was wonderful. So many great examples.
Thank you. Thanks to everyone for coming.
Everybody, thanks for coming. Thanks, Josie. Have a nice day.
Yeah, you too.